Yo, what is good, YouTube? What's up, PlayStation Nation? Jay Barry here, and I'm back with another video here to talk about some more Final Fantasy 16. This is one of those videos that I promised to do. I wanted to do. I just had to redo it. So this is my second time doing this video, and this is the tier list video. This is the Eikon Ability tier list video. So this is me, my opinions on what icons abilities I think are the best, grouping them into specific icons, of course. So we're gonna be ranking these icons as far as, like, the Shiva, the Ifrits, the Ramuhs, the Bahamuts, the Odins, in their respective tier lists. And yeah, man, just to further the conversation when it comes to Final Fantasy 16 and how everybody feel about these icon tier lists. So I went on ahead to tier list maker, and I actually created a tier list. So this is a tier list that I created here. I didn't do anything to it yet, where we're going to be ranking all of these icons and how I feel about them as far as where they place within the tier list. You know what I mean? Once again, like I said, this is just my opinion. This is how I feel. This could also this could also, have a lot of people that feel differently due to their play style and things like that. You know what I mean? I'm a more like aggressive, I like my dashes, type play style. So obviously this affects how I feel about, different icons and how their abilities work. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let's get into it and let's talk about it, man. So this is how we setting it up, man. We got the tier list over there. We got the tier list, and we also got the gameplay running as well. So we're gonna be going back and forth as far as, like, how we feel about a tier list as we move on. Let me remove some of this stuff here. I got the whole TOA tournament still up, and yeah, man, we're gonna definitely talk about it. Let me remove this last thing here. Boom. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun video. Hopefully you guys, don't get too butthurt around here. And yeah, we're gonna get into it. So, this is my third playthrough of this game. I'm on my third playthrough of the game. And I was just messing around with a few, icon abilities here. Nothing too crazy. But I will be resetting everything, when it comes to the icons. And we're gonna play around with it. And I show you as well why I feel like, what, icon ability is ranked where it's ranked. All right. So once again, let's get into it. Let's get into the tier list. Let's get into the tier list. And yeah, let's start with the first one, man. So the first one I feel like we should go to is obviously Phoenix, right? Phoenix is one of the first ones that we earned. And in my opinion, I feel like it's one of the best icon abilities in the game. So we're going to be ranking it as S tier in the tier list. And the reason why I rank it S tier is because I feel like when it comes to Phoenix, it is like one of the most versatile. It is one of the most versatile icon abilities in the game. You have many different abilities, such as, Rising Flame. You got the Scarlet Cyclone, Heat Wave, and also Flames of Rebirth. So let's show it here as far as the abilities that Phoenix has and why I feel like it's S tier. So like I said, Phoenix Shift, I think, is one of the best, like, eccentric, circle abilities that the game has. It makes you be aggressive, and it also helps against, like, bigger, taller enemies that you're going to be fighting against. It is also one of the best combo filler type moves as you knock enemies back, as you, come from the air and, do your, what's it, downward thrust here? Yeah, downward thrust. It's an ability that works so well with all other icon abilities. So that's why I rate it so high in the S tier. It might be one of the best, to be honest with you. Rising Flame is really good damage, especially when you finish it with, like, an ender. Really good damage, really good combo extender as well, because once you think you're finished, comboing an enemy, with Rising Flame, you can still calm them up. Also, you have here Scarlet Cyclone. I think out of all of the moves here, this is probably the weaker one, but this move does, pretty good stagger damage. It is a really good ability to, when enemies are flustering you or there's a group of enemies around you, you can get them off of you. But overall, in my personal opinion, I think this is the one of the weaker sides of all the Phoenix abilities. Then I feel like this is the best Phoenix ability, in the game personally, when it just comes to, dealing with smaller enemies, just going through the game, is Heat Wave, because this move is so diverse in how you can use it. You can use it as a zoning tool, where you want to, throw out, a good damaging, fireball or fire slash or whatnot. But you can also use it in counterplay as well. And yeah, it's super strong. So here they're saying that you create a wall, a fire that dispels incoming projectiles. So any enemies that's using projectiles on you, you can just simply diminish it. It does it a counter state, and then you can get right into it. So let me show you some stuff here. And the last but not least is Flames of Rebirth. Man, this is a really good ultimate attack, due to the fact that it does a lot of damage. It's pretty good damage. It's not the most damaging of all of them, but it also heals you as you're doing a move. So you hold it and it just heals you as you're damaging, and it can take out a lot of enemies at once too. You know what I mean? If you do the little icon trials in the game, you would know how important this move is doing that icon trial. But yeah, Phoenix abilities is pretty dope. I like it a lot. What we have here is that we have Cyclone. Let me just switch it up a little bit, just so we can go one by one. So let's do Rising Flame here, and then we'll do Cyclone. And let's put another ability here. Let's put Garuda here, and then we'll put Heat Wave, and then we'll put Flames of Rebirth. So yeah, I really think Phoenix is super strong because, like I said, close the gap really good. You can do simple combos like this, then come back, boom. Super flashy. Or, like I said, when it comes to the Rising Flame, and you can extend that. Let's put the health on unlimited. I personally don't like to put the health on unlimited while I'm doing the practice stuff, but just for this purposes, we'll do it here. So it doesn't matter which attack you do it from either. You can just always do it. So you can go boom, boom, Rising Flame, boom, 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 and it just combo. It just works so well with each other. So boom, boom. Oh, let's get that back. Matter of fact, let's do the cooldown as well. Unlimited. The music is so great in this game, man. Oh yeah, right here. So see how it just works in this flash stat. It's just a super good. It is super good. It's super clean. It is probably one of the most useful icon abilities, and yeah, I rank it very high. But also, there's other moves as well, where you have Heat Wave, which like I said is one of my favorites. Really good damage there, and then you also have Flames of Rebirth. And this thing is just healing you as they just do massive amount of damage. So you can mix up a lot of stuff here. So we can go boom, 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 boom. Oh, do I not have it unlimited? Let me see. Oh yeah, right here, boom. Let's do it again. So we go boom, 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 boom. Oh, I should have did a teleport. But look, it's still hitting them. And then you can just range. Super, super good. Super, super good. It is one of the best. You know what I mean? It works really well with a lot of the simple combos as well. So if I hold, it works really well with that. You know what I mean? It works really well with charge fireball as it pops up. So we can just go. Let's do one of my basic stuff that I do here is where I just pop them up. Phoenix ability, this is really, really good. So yeah, I rate it S tier on my tier list. So let's get into another tier list here. I mean, another ability. And let's talk about Garuda. Garuda. It's super, super good, man. As you can see in some of the combos that I just did here, you know, by accident, Garuda's abilities is just super, super strong. It is the Stagger King. In my opinion, it was the, well, you know, I leave Shiva the Stagger King, but the stagger on her abilities is just super, super good. So we'll put in Garuda S tier as well. And the reason why I have Garuda as S tier is because, like I said, the circle ability, let's go into it. Let's look at it. The circle ability, eccentric ability is super good where, you know, you press circle and it just pulls them. So the deadly embrace, you can do this from the air. You can do this from the ground. You know, when you level it up, when you master it, the range increases. And also it is super good when it comes to bosses. You know, when you have that second layer of stagger down, you know, you press circle with Garuda and it pulls them down in a downward state where you can just continue the combo. Also, it's super, super good and versatile against larger enemies. So with larger enemies, instead of pulling them towards you, it will pull them. It can't pull them, but it will send you flipping in the air, and you can just do your stuff from there in the air. So let's equip some of the abilities here for Garuda. We're gonna put her up here. We got Gorge. We got Wicked Wheel. Put Phoenix here. Let's put Rook's Gambit, and then we'll put Area Blast. So yeah, all the abilities here. We got Gorge, Stagger. This is the Stagger Queen right here. The Stagger is just crazy. It is amazing. You won't go wrong using Gorge in any of your builds or whatnot. It's just super, super good. It's also really, really good for like combos. Like it gives you that, it gives you enough time to be like, oh, let me switch over here or let me think what I can do after this, because she's just scratching and slashing for a very, very long time as you plan out some of your stuff. It's also really, really good when it comes down to cooldown, because let's say you use your other abilities, you know, you pop something like Gorge hitting the enemies. It lasted so long that the cooldown for the other abilities is actually cooling down. You know what I mean? So you're wasting time for the cooldown as you're using some of her abilities here. So it is one of those. I feel like Garuda's Eikon Abilities is one of those abilities where I feel like you're always going to want to have something of Garuda within your build and how you want Clive to, you know, to maneuver and attack enemies. So yeah, I rated it super, super high in S tier. And yeah, Gorge is one of the reasons. You also have Wicked Wheel. One is like one of the best combo fillers in the game. You know, sending enemies up, but it's also, like I said, doing a lot of stagger to one of these enemies. Rook's Gambit, one of my favorite abilities in the game, due to the fact of it's also another counter ability that it has. So when you use Rook's Gambit, you would normally just do a regular, it does a bat dash into like a slash up kick kind of thing, which really helps her. You know, it does really, really great when it comes to her eccentric or circle abilities. But when you time it properly, and you catch the dash as the enemy is about to hit, it does this other counter state where it flips her and does this cyclone, vertical spin, hitting the enemies multiple times. That it costs a lot of stagger. I feel like the stagger representation here, as far as I tell you, is only 2 stars. It's kind of misleading because when you get the counter, it does way more stagger than what is leading you to believe here, being displayed as far as like, the stars or whatnot. So yeah, Rook's Gambit, really, really good ability. Also, the great thing about Garuda's abilities, all these abilities work in the air. They all work in the air. So super, super versatile. And then you have Aerial Blast. I am not the biggest fan of Aerial Blast. It does do a lot of stagger, but it's very specific in how it does the stagger. Like if you're playing against or fighting against an enemy that moves around a lot, you're not going to get all of that stagger. You know what I mean? But if it's a very stationary, big, heavy type enemy, you will get the stagger. It's not instant though, like something like Shiva's. But my biggest issue with this move is that it covers too much visibility. Like the visibility after you use it, you can't really see too much what's going on in the game, and that is my biggest issue when it comes to Garuda's ability. But let's showcase it. So once again, like I said, Garuda, super strong. When it comes to smaller enemies, let's pull them. You know what I mean? One reason why I rate it super high is due to how cheap you can do, how easy it is for her to combo just doing the basics of basics. So once again, we're just going to the 4 hit combo. Pull. And just reset it. Pull. Also lunge. It works really well with lunge. So if you lunge, pull. Obviously after a lunge, after you can do your magic right after, right? So after every hit that you do in Final Fantasy 16, you can always follow up with magic. Like that. Let me get this thing here. Boom, 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 boom. With magic. So when you do that pop, let me put this on, turn this on. So when you do the follow-up with the magic, it blasts them back. But the good thing about Garuda and her ability is that you can't really escape from her. So you can do and pull them right back. You can do pull them right back. You can do pull them right back. And it just becomes super, super cheap, especially for these smaller enemies, because you can do stuff like this. And just repeat that, and they're locked in there. They're locked into that. So she's super, super strong as far as like her abilities. So let's do Gorge. As you can see, Gorge, super, super long. But you can do it. You can if you keep pressing the button, you can do it much longer. So yeah, it is super, super good, man. So I'm gonna do something here where I'm gonna pop them up. Oh no, I messed up. So oh, I'm pressing too much. Oh, wrong ability. Oops. I'm rusty, y'all. He just leave him in the air. Not done yet. Wicked Wheel. And just pull him right back. That's the power of this Eikon ability. Super versatile, ground or in the air. And yeah, I have it on like, the regen as far as the cooldown is unlimited. But when you're in play, you're gonna see how useful her abilities are. So yeah, you have Gorge, super good. Wicked Wheel also is a good one from the ground or even from the air because boom, and you just go right into. You go right into that. And that's something that you would do with that, you know, especially in the air, you pop them up. But like I said, super, super good ability. Then let's talk about her Rook's Gambit. Like I said, Rook's Gambit, really, really good. Really, really good move. And Rook's Gambit is one of those moves you can abuse as well because you can press, you know, the circle ability. So let me catch it and bring him in the air. Super, super good move. But like I said, with Rook's Gambit, you know, it's a counter state. Can we put the AI on here? Actually, never did the AI on here. I don't think we can do it AI here. I thought we could, but super, super, really, really good ability. And then the last one we have here is Aerial Blast. Like I said, it's strong. Not my go-to ultimate move. You know, I tend to like avoid Aerial Blast, but overall, very, very strong ability. And they just stuck in there. You can pull them. You can pull them into it. That's the good thing. You can pull them. Especially for the lighter enemies. But yeah, it lasts a long time. But when you're doing like boss fights or whatnot, you want to see what bosses are doing because a lot of bosses, a lot of bigger enemies are armored up, and yeah, it could be hard to, you know, see what's going on when you use Aerial Blast. But yeah, that is Garuda. I think she's super strong, and that's why I rate her in S tier when it comes to the tier list. So let's move it along. Let's move it along. Oh, matter of fact, let me show you guys this before we move on, because like I said, when it comes to Garuda's abilities, the circle ability changes in the air. Let's see if I can knock this person down. As you can see, and once their stagger gauge is to the second level, he has the pull that grabs them to the floor. But yeah, super, super strong, and I'm gonna show you how effective Aerial Blast can be. The stagger. It's not instant. Like I said, if there's an enemy that's moving around a lot, it is not the greatest of moves, but overall, it is super strong. You know what I mean? But me personally, I tend to avoid it. Like I said, and yeah, one of the things, easy access to downward thrust. You know what I mean? That's like combo stuff, man. But yeah, Garuda stuff is super strong. All right, so let's get into the next ability, and let's do Ramuh. So Ramuh, I like Ramuh. You know, a lot of people have different opinions when it comes to Ramuh stuff. I don't think it's like the easiest ability to work around with, but overall, he does have some super strong stuff when it comes to Ramuh. I don't rate it as high as, you know, the others, but when it comes to mixing and matching abilities and whatnot, this is where the strength of the character, this is where the strength of the icon comes in. I don't think like by itself, Ramuh is like the super strongest, but when you mix and match the abilities with others, that's where the strength comes in. So Ramuh, I'm gonna place him for right now. I'm gonna place it in B tier because it's very, very super specific as far as how you can use these abilities. And once again, we're going to go over that stuff. So let's go over Ramuh. Let's show you what he got, and let's talk about it, man. So Ramuh, like I said, I personally like it, but I can see everybody's argument as far as why it's not the strongest or why it's not super good. So Blind Justice, it's mediocre. I think Blind Justice is very mediocre. It is way too slow in how you get that thing going. Obviously, you need to have abilities that knock your enemies down to really get this thing rolling. But when it comes to a lot of enemies on the screen, a lot of enemies coming at you, especially later in the game, this is where you kind of try to separate yourself away from Ramuh and all the things that he can do. But yeah, this move, it's not bad, but it just takes a little bit too long. It does like give like an extra additional like discharge stuff that goes on that helps, like I said, it helps out all the other abilities. But yeah, it doesn't really gel well with a lot of enemies. Ramuh, I feel like it's one of the more, his circle ability, I mean, it's one of the more selfish type abilities where it doesn't really play nice with other abilities. You have to have this move with Ramuh's ability, in my opinion, or anything that really knocks them back, and that's Power Driver. Power Drive, super strong move. This also can hit multiple people, but it is not like a combo type feel move. It's more so to get this thing going, Blind Justice. So when you get this going, you can get Blind Justice going, where you can get Thunderstorm going. You know what I mean? But Thunderstorm, I feel like it's really good. This move, it gives you a knockdown, pretty much like a hard knockdown in a fighting game. Thunderstorm is really, really good because it doesn't cancel out. So if you're getting hit, it doesn't cancel out. You're guaranteed that hit, but it's a gift and a curse. It's a double-edged sword where you can't cancel the move out. So bigger enemies that's attacking you, stronger enemies that are attacking you, your health can be in jeopardy, casting this move. So that's why I said, like, it's very specific in how you can use it, where Power Drive is the setup move to go to, because once you get Power Drive down, you can get those knockdowns in, send the enemies back, get Blind Justice rolling, cast Thunderstorm, and get that extra damage due to the extra discharge and stuff that, Blind Justice does. Lightning Rod is one of my go-to moves, especially when he gets staggered. It is very specific, though. I'm not putting it there like an S tier move or whatnot, but it's a very specific move that gels well with a lot of different abilities. The only real con about Blind Justice, to be honest with you, is that it has a really, really slow startup, and with how the targeting works of the game, it can be super weird, especially if you don't have anything locked on. It can get super, super weird as far as like, it would default lock on to Lightning Rod, where if enemies that's moving around, you gotta be very specific, when it comes to this ability. But I really enjoyed it a lot because this is, when you place it with other abilities, it can cause a lot of damage, and it is crazy. It is crazy how much damage it can cause. Like, it's crazy. But like I said, it's not the greatest. And then we have Judgment Bolt, pretty much one of the best ultimate abilities from Eikon, in my opinion. A lot of damage is casting here. It is fast. It's just a way better version of Thunderstorm. And it's super fast. But let's go into it and let's look at some of his moves. And let's show you some of the knockdown abilities I'm talking about here. Like I said, when it comes to Ramuh, when it's a bigger enemy, it's not the greatest. But this is his Blind Justice. Move around. You lock in. The max is 9. Once you get to 9 or whatever number, you press circle again. And all that stuff is on him. It does a lot of more damage if you cast Thunderstorm. Does a lot more damage. As you see, it stuns him, knocks him down, boom. But that's the strength of like his abilities. You want the knockdown, but like I said, it's very specific. Power Drive, this is the go-to move for Ramuh. If you're just solely picking all of his abilities, this is the go-to move because, like I said, gives it a knockdown where they're fully knocked down. You know what I mean? And they're not getting up yet. You got 9 already on them. Boom. And then you can just throw that out there. They're finally getting up, and you can cast Thunderstorm. Boom. So that's the strength of how, you know, you play around with his abilities. But when it comes to combos and things like that, you're not really doing nothing crazy with Ramuh. So everything is a little bit slow. So if I was to do like basic, doesn't really work there. If I was to do Thunderstorm as well with this, doesn't really work there. You know what I mean? It's not the greatest of things there. So yeah, I don't place it super high, but when you start mixing and matching, that's where you see the strength of him. And then we have Lightning Rod. Lightning Rod, in my opinion, is like one of the better moves from him. But I can see a lot of people avoiding it because how slow it is to start up, you know, wasting stagger time. But that's the best opportune time to use this move. But it does start up slow. So boom, that's a startup. And then as you attack with Lightning Rod, it's discharging damage. So I can do Judgment Bolt. As I target it, look at the damage. And that's all damage right there that's being taken place. It lasts super long. And the ability, the discharge is pretty wide. So the AoE is pretty wide on it as well. So yeah, I like it personally, but I can see why a lot of people would avoid it. But yeah, that's pretty much Ramuh. You know, I place him in B tier. I place him in B tier. So we got Ramuh in B tier, man. So let's move on. Let's move forward and let's talk about Titan. Titan. A lot of people might have a lot of mixed opinions on how I feel about Titan, man. But Titan as well, I put him in B tier. I think he's a much higher B tier. I think he's better than Ramuh, in my opinion. But I feel like Titan, he is very versatile how to use his abilities, but there's flaws to him, and I'm gonna showcase that here. I'm gonna showcase that. So I have him in B tier, and we're gonna showcase some of those flaws real quick. So let's mix it. Let's get some stuff in here. Get Titan in here. We got Wind Up, Upheaval, and then we'll do Raging Fist and Earth and Fury. So yeah, this is Titan. Titan, I think he's strong, but there's flaws to his game. So Titan Block, I think, is one of the better or one of the best circle abilities in the game. You know what I mean? Very defensive, counterplay type defense ability. And it comes with some cool properties with it, man. So you can perfect block when you do Titan Block, and you do like this auto counter where it does a lot of damage. Super good for bosses, and can cause a lot of damage, cause a lot of stagger meter as well. But you also can mix it up with him. You know what I mean? When you do get the perfect block, you can mix it within Raging Fist. And Raging Fist, I think is a strong ability, but the strength really comes in when you mix it up with Titan Block. So it's very specific. You got to get the parry, your perfect parry, and then you got to switch it over to the Raging Fist. You know what I mean? When you do switch it over to the Raging Fist, it does a increased follow up, and the cooldown on the ability is much different as well. I'll see right there, it said 50% cooldown reduction when you do get the actual counter with Titan Block. Wind Up, this is one of the bigger damaging abilities. You're going to see a lot of people use Wind Up because it's going to cash out a lot of damage. But it's very specific how you're using it. Most people is going to use it within stagger. You're not really going to use this move, when you're facing against, 10 enemies surrounding you or whatnot. When you're facing against enemies that's really teleporting and, moving around the battlefield, you're not really using this move here. But when you stagger somebody, you link certain things. Oh boy, oh baby, it gets it gets real damaging. To be honest with you, I feel like his most useful move here is the upheaval. Great AoE. It catches the movers, the people that like to move around, and the enemies that like to move around. You can also use it in the air. So this is his most versatile move that he has in the game. And I think this is his best ability. A lot of people are not going to use it because it doesn't cash out as much damage as Wind Up, but it's more versatile than Wind Up. And then once again, Raging Fist. Raging Fist is good, but it just locks you in animation. You know what I mean? There's times where you can be fighting a boss, or you can be fighting a much bigger enemy, and you'll get those initial hits, but enemies can get hit out of it, and then they can move around, and start hitting you while you're in that animation of the Raging Fist. So it does some good stagger damage. I wish it kind of did more, but the stagger really comes in when you get Titan Block with this, and that's where the damage and the stagger really comes in. But I don't think it's as strong as people make it out to be. But in stagger mixed with lightning rod, that's where the damage really comes in with this move. I feel like Titan really gels well with Ramuh, because especially when you have lightning rod out here, you're just going to increase in the damage of this move. They might as well put this as a 5-star move now. And then with lightning rod, you might as well put this as a 4.5 star move. With Ramuh's ability there. And his last move is Earth and Fury. I think this is the worst, ultimate ability in the game. I don't see it that strong. I mean, it's not as useful. You know what I mean? You're not using this to cash out big damage to bigger enemies or to bosses. This is mainly a ultimate ability that you're using within regular smaller enemies and moving from there, which I feel like majority of the slots that people have that they're going to be using in the game, you're pretty much using this for the bigger enemies, the bigger bosses, and stagger. But let me show you how his abilities are. So this is Titan. Once again, we got Earth, Wind Up. This is why I feel like his move set is not really as strong, because we're going to do the basic combo here once again. And see how that does all that with all that damage, the 4-star damage is all gone from there. You know what I mean? And when you do try to cancel it early, enemies already recovered, whatnot. It does change it up when you fully charge it. You just get a singular punch, so you can get that working from there. Let's go over here. You can get it working from here. You know what I mean? It's just it's not as good as I think it's good, but it's not as useful in all scenarios like the other moves that I've been talking about. Upheaval though, this move, super useful. As you can see, still hit him up, boom, right there. You know what I mean? The AoE on this move is super crazy. And you can combo from it. I know I can catch him, hold on. I've caught him before. Let's see if I can catch it. There he is. Then, do your little punch from there and whatnot. But yeah, super, super useful move. Also, one of the great things about upheaval is that you can use it in the air. Nice little combo. You know what I mean? So we can do something like this. Boom. That's a super, super really good, useful ability. I think it's the best ability that he has. Titan Block, super good as well. This is one that, I can see a lot of people using. Really useful in boss fights. But the flaw with Titan Block is that when you get the counter, you're locked into that. And there's enemies that have armor that it will move around that and it will still keep attacking you while you're doing in your animation, you know, pressing it. So you gotta be real careful how you use Titan Block, but overall it is a really, really strong ability. So the next ability that we have here is Raging Fist. Like I said, Raging Fist is a good ability, but like this, as you hit them, they can bounce out of it. It happened to me many times where enemies has bounced out of it, and you know, I'm just whiffing as they move around, you know, casting magic or whatnot. But it's not a move that you can move using the air. It's not that good. And then we have Earth and Fury here with, I mean, yeah, Earth and Fury. Meh. Does a lot of hits, does a lot of damage, sends enemies back, but overall, now you send enemies back there. What are you doing as Titan? You know what I mean? You're not really doing nothing. You're gonna have to go to another ability. You know what I mean? That's where my rating of the abilities come. And the more that I speak on it, the more I kind of want to put Titan C tier. You know what I mean? Because his abilities are not that versatile. They do great damage. They're great with stagger, but they're not as versatile in every scenario like these other abilities are in the game. So yeah, that's how I feel about Titan right now. He is in the C tier. Let's move it on. Let's move it on, and let's talk about Bahamut. Let's talk about Bahamut, man. Bahamut, I'm gonna put him A tier. And like I said, I feel like Bahamut has a lot of super really good individual skills, but as a whole, I put him in A tier. I don't think it's S tier. I don't think it's S tier, but I do think the abilities that he has are super strong. You know what I mean? But is it as versatile as like the S tiers? No, it is not as versatile as the S tiers. And I think Bahamut has one of the best ultimate abilities with Giga Flare. But let's go into it and let's talk about it, man. So Bahamut. We got him in A tier. Wings of Flight. I was super down on this move, but the more I played it, the more I feel like it's super strong due to the fact that you can actually dash within it. You can press circle, you can press the evade button and dash as it's building up. And if you get a perfect dash, you build up the Mega Flare ability. And Mega Flare, once you get that thing maxed out, oh baby, it's just particle effects all over the screen. Super good damage. It works really well with him. So if it didn't have the evasive maneuvering within, you know, Wings of Flight, easy would have packed it up. But once you do get max ability, you see the damage, 4-star ability. That's crazy damage for a circle ability. You know what I mean? And yeah, I feel like you can easily get it, especially if you just have if you're dashing or your evasion is on point. So I rate it much different due to that fact. Then we have Impulse. Impulse, in my opinion, is one of the better moves. I think this move is super strong. It gels really well with a lot of abilities. The cooldown is super fast. It goes for multiple enemies. You can blow them up at any time, or you can wait until they glow orange and then blow them up. Super strong ability. Works really well with lightning rod, as you stagger an enemy and it hones it down. This is one of the main abilities that I use. It's Impulse, and yeah, I have nothing but praises when it comes to Impulse. S tier special ability here. S tier for sure. Super versatile. The only thing I will say is that you can't do it in the air. I'm not too sure if you can do it in the air. We're gonna see. I don't think I remember doing it in the air, but overall, the explosive damage mixed in with this Wings of Light, man, it's looking like 4th of July when you when you pop these things two together. The other ability you have here is Flare Breath. So I'm not too found on this move. I don't really like it too much. I think it's super slow. It's super specific as far as how you can use it. It's really good for like knockdowns, weaker enemies. When you're dashing, when you're fighting bosses, you're not really using this move. It's not really good for bosses. Not really good for any mini bosses. Stronger enemies. It's more so a knockdown, stagger move that's just really, really slow. It takes up a lot of stagger time, and I'm not the biggest fan on Flare. It doesn't really combo really well with a lot of things. It doesn't really gel well. It can gel well with Lightning Rod, but other than that, I don't see it really gelling well. Satellite is a move that I slept on, but I really think it's really good. It's very versatile how you play. You can pop Satellite, do your ground game, do your air game. As long as you're pressing the magic button, you got extra, orbs shooting magic at people. And it gets crazy when you start leveling this thing up. You know what I mean? Look, it can be used while casting Mega Flare as well. It just works really, really well with what Bahamut can do with its tool set. So yeah, I know a lot of people might not rate this move as high, but I rate it super high. You know what I mean? It's a really, really versatile, well thought of move, and you can mix and match it with a lot of different icon setups in the game. And then we have one of the best ultimate abilities from Icon, and that is Giga Flare. Man, Bahamut, the damage that this Icon ability can do is super crazy. Mixing with Mega Flare, mixing with Impulse, mixing with Satellite, Giga Flare, the damage is insane. And one of the greatest things about Giga Flare is that you can control the beam. So it's great for, smaller enemies. It's great for bosses, mini bosses. It's just an overall very versatile move. But one of the greatest things I like about it is that when you do stagger an enemy and you pop Giga Flare, the stagger bar freezes. It's not tickering until the move is done. And that is something that, you pretty much want. So you're dealing all of this damage. The stagger bar is stationary. And then after it's done, you can continue doing what you got to do on whatever ability. So this is a S tier, S plus type move. And this is the reason why I have him so high in the tier list as A tier, because like I said, I feel like Satellite, mixed opinions on that one. You know what I mean? It's very specific. It works with how I play, but it might not work with other people, especially if you're not using, magic a lot. And Flare Breath is not as strong. I don't see most people really using Wings of Light in their third slot like that, but overall it is a strong ability. So I can't put Bahamut in S tier, but A tier I feel like is a great point for this Icon. So let's get into it. Let's do some Icon ability stuff with Bahamut. So once again, Wings of Light. What's really strong about this move, you can move around, but what makes it strong is that you can press the dash button as you're doing it. And when you get a perfect dash, it increases the time for it. Also, you can cancel at any time pressing X, which is super good. You know what I mean? But let's get it all the way up. I think it goes to level 3. I mean 5, right? So we'll just wait it out. But 4. And once you get to 4, and then you can mix in Impulse with this, Flare Breath, Impulse, go and blow it up. Boom. It's still getting hit. It's crazy. Still getting hit. Now it just dropped. You can't tell me this icon is not A tier. You know what I mean? I can see some people even putting it as S tier. That's due to how much damage it can cash out on it. But it's very specific. You know what I mean? But yeah, flare breath, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's slow. You can catch people with it, but it's super slow. But this move right here, impulse, is a go-to. And watch how you pop them up. You can combo from that, by the way. So yeah, super strong. I like Bahamut a lot. Satellite, I think it's a good move. Because like I said, as you're pressing that, you charge this. Super good move, man. And you can do that while you have, Mega Flare going at it. And then you can have Giga Flare here. This is a god tier move right here, man. Kamehameha beam. Yeah, enemies. A lot of enemies can't do anything once Giga Flares pop. They don't have to be in stagger. They can't do nothing with Giga Flares pop. It's just too strong for move. But yeah, I rate Bahamut ability super high. Very versatile. This is one of the Eikon abilities. Like impulse, Giga Flare. You're gonna see people mix these into other abilities. But if you just want to have like a main Bahamut moveset, it still can work. It's super strong. Cause like I said, you can just dash out a lot of these stuff here. You can always cancel it. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how I rate Bahamut. I find him super strong. We're gonna leave him in the A tier. All right, so the next up we have here, let's do Ifrit. I put Ifrit in B tier. I think he's better than Ramuh, but I rate Ifrit in B. That's due to the fact it's not as versatile as you think it could be. I feel like he has some strong stuff with it. We'll talk about it. First and foremost, Ifrit has 2 abilities. Well, technically 3 abilities, because it's pretty much your limit break. Ifrit is your limit break. And your limit break. It got the Willow of Wikes, and they also have the ignition. So let's talk about Ifrit real quick, man. Let's get into it. Let's talk about Ifrit. I don't think it's weak at all. You know what I mean? You can use his abilities in a lot of different scenarios, like the Will of Wicks or Wicks, however you pronounce it. I feel like that's a super good ability. It blends well with other abilities, like I said, with Lightning Rod, with Impulse, with other stuff we're going to talk about, because it's a constant damage inducing ability, but it's also one of the rare defensive abilities that in the game. Is a passive defensive ability. You don't got to press no extra buttons. You're just, alleviating damage, just having this move activated. So let's get into it. And like I said, you have your limit break. Limit break is super strong. You heal, your damage increase, your defense increase. Super strong. That's the reason why I have it up in B. We could probably put it in A. You know what I mean? I think it's a strong B. But this is your semi-prime type ability here. This Will of Wikes, super strong ability where it's very versatile. You can use this move as a protective, defensive move, or you can use it to, put some damage on it. It doesn't do a lot of damage. But like I said, when you mix it with things like this, with Lightning Rod, when you mix it with stuff like Impulse, it's just constant damage hitting enemies. You know what I mean? And there's a lot too. Like when you level it up, there's a lot of these, orbs that's surrounding you. So I like the ability. It's something that I like to play around with. Is it something that I'm going to go hard and try hard with? Not necessarily. It is super good for certain hunts, especially like when you fight like the Red Chocobo or you fight in Sevrog. It can alleviate a lot of the damage that those enemies are going to be doing due to the defensive nature of this move. So that's why I have it in, B tier. It might be like a B plus move, to be honest with you. It might be an A tier move, real talk, because this move alone is just really, really strong. To be honest with you, I might have him up in, A tier. I might have him in A tier, but the reason why I can't put in A tier as a collective is due to this ability, Ignition. It's really, really good when you do get the hit. It's really good when you fighting smaller enemies. It's really strong, like as a combo ender move, because it lasts really long and it does pile up a lot of damage. And you can do it in air as well, but it's a gift and it's a double-edged sword type move, where if you're fighting the bigger armored, big staggered enemies, it's not as good as it is led to believe, because enemies can easily just jump out of it. You can sometimes miss an enemy, and if how to control it, you can control the move as well, but it's not the easiest thing to control, like quickly turn around, make a U-turn to get this enemy. Once you're locked into it, you're locked into it. There's no like cancel button with it. But overall, I feel like it is a strong move, but it's not the greatest. I don't rate this as a high. I rate this as like a C tier move. You know what I mean? I rate the Willow Weeks of like, this is like a S tier move. Matter of fact, this is an S tier move. Limit Break depends on your build, depends on your accessories. This could be S tier as well, because you can get it pretty fast. But yeah, I think Ifrit, it doesn't have a lot of abilities, outside. I mean, all of this stuff is kind of Ifrit stuff, to be honest with you. It's your basic stuff. So just due to the fact that Ifrit has all of this stuff here, Stomp, Swift Recovery, Burning Blade, Down Thrust, Lunge, we'll put Ifrit in A. We'll put it in A because it does offer all these stuff here. But let's talk about it. Let's showcase it. So, like I said, the Will of Weeks, whatever you want to pronounce it, move. That's versatile. Oh, I got the wrong one in. Oh, I got Ignition as square. But yeah, Ignition is one of those moves that you can, like I said, you can hit in the air. Oh, I didn't go for the hit. It's good in those situation stuff. You can control it as well. You know what I mean? Let's say you miss an enemy here. You see what I'm saying? You can control it like that. Like, yeah, I don't rate it as strong as I used to. When I first unlocked it, I was like, oh, this really is God tier. But when you start fighting those Curals and those Storm Panthers and those more, agile, enemies, it's not as good. Enemies that have teleports and all that stuff, it's not as good as the other stuff. Let's talk about the Will of Wikes now. This move right here, I think this is the S tier move. It alleviates damage and it's always constant damage that's going on. You can increase the damage by popping Limit Break. See that all those are criticals now. Where when it's not, you see this white damage. That's white damage here. Limit Break turns to criticals. This also going to turn to critical as well. Doing much more. So yeah, that's Ifrit. I think it's strong. Just due to the fact that you're getting all these other moves with it. Those are part of Ifrit as well. So that's why I'm rating it, A tier. If we're not incorporating these moves here, I'll put it in the B tier. But we incorporate all these moves. Yeah, this is the basics of the basics. So yeah, I put it in the A tier. We'll put it in the A tier. In the A tier. So we got two more left, man. We got two more left. So let's talk about Shiva. Shiva, in my opinion, is my favorite Eikon ability. And I do think that Shiva is the best Eikon ability in the game. It's the only Eikon ability that offers an actual elemental status effect. It is one of the most versatile Eikon abilities where you can use her abilities in the air. You can use it on the ground. It causes a lot of stagger. She's not the biggest damage. She doesn't output the biggest damage when it comes to Eikon abilities, but it does have the status effect properties to her abilities. So yeah, let's talk about it. Let's get her in here and let's talk why I rate Shiva so high. A lot of people's gonna be like, yo, Bar, you being biased, man. You're being biased, man. Shiva is good, but it's not the best. No, it's low key the best, in my opinion. There's only one move I could say for Shiva where, I don't see a lot of people using it in her tool set. It's very specific. I think Lightning Rod is just a better move, but with certain scenarios, you can mix and match it, and you can cause some crazy damage. So, but let's get into it. Let's talk about Shiva. So, yeah, Shiva, I personally feel like she has the best, circle ability, best eccentric ability. You can slide in whichever direction that you want to do it. Also, with this ability, you have permafrost. So permafrost, if enemies get caught into a permafrost, it's just an instant freeze with her cold snap stuff. With ability. So here it's saying you can dodge and incoming enemy attacks. Circle can be used while sliding, executing powerful follow-ups called frostbite. Enemies stuck in frostbite will become temporarily frozen. Precise dodging, an enemy attack with cold snap freezes all enemies in the radius. So yeah, all enemies in that radius. So if you precise dodge an enemy's attack, everybody in that radius is getting frozen, getting caught in that permafrost where they're just stuck and you just cause a whole bunch of damage with it. So yeah, I think this is one of the best abilities. You can also use this in the air as well. Super strong ability. Ice Age. This is the better Wind Up, in my opinion. It doesn't do as much damage as Wind Up, but like I said, it has the freeze mechanic to it. So if you release it in the red zone, it does add the freezing attack to it. You're gonna see it once I display it, and I just think it's more versatile move. You can't use it in the air, so it's much more grounded. But you can mix and match it with her circle ability with cold snap. So I like it a lot, and you're gonna see why I like it a lot. Then we have Mesmerize. I love this move, especially when it comes to air combos. It is a super good move. Wherever you hit the enemy with Mesmerize, it will pull the enemies towards Clive, either below them or like in front of them. Can be used in the air. Not the best damaging move, but it's like one of those combo filler type moves, to get the other thing rolling and whatnot. Then we have Rhyme. Rhyme, like I said, I think that Lightning Rod is the better move, to be honest with you. But Rhyme is just it's much faster. The only thing I don't like about Rhyme is that the placement of the move, it's very iffy. Sometimes it will be in front of the enemy, sometimes it will be above them. You can't really control the placement of it. But when you get in that right spot, oh man, this move is Chef Kiss. It's super good. And it's just constant damage that's being done to enemies within it. There is another little trick that you can do with it as well. Pressing the execute button after the crystal ball is being summoned will cause it to dissipate. Oh yeah, so yeah, you can just instantly blow it up as well, which has them pop up in the air. And then one of the best ultimate abilities, in my opinion, Diamond Dust. This is the stagger king, queen, whatever you want to call it. I place this move right there with Giga Flare, right there with Lightning Rod. It might be even better. It doesn't cause as much damage, but if you want that instant stagger, this is the move to go. You know what I mean? The only 5-star stagger move is Aerial Blast, but Aerial Blast is not as good as Diamond Dust. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have Diamond Dust in their builds because of the stagger with this move. Super, super good move. Enemies can get hit, whether in the air, on the ground. It's just super good. The follow-up is really good, strong ability. So let's get into it and let's showcase some of Shiva's stuff. Yeah, like I really like Shiva a lot because, like I said, she's very versatile with her Cold Snap. You can move however you want to move. You can catch them in the air. It's just super good. You can freeze them. I won't be able to showcase the permafrost because they're not really attacking, but I can showcase some other stuff here. So that's the what's it called? That's the frostbite right there. So yeah, this move is super good. You can link it with a lot of her, like that. It's just a super strong move, man. Like I said, this Eikon ability, you definitely going to want to have in your build because it extends a lot of stuff. It works really well with a lot of different icons, and in my opinion, it's one of the best circle abilities. So yeah, like I said, you can do stuff like this. Ice Age, freeze them again, boom. And that's why I think Ice Age is really good because Ice Age works really well when it comes to, you know, Phoenix and other abilities. You know, Garuda works really, really well with them. You can even use Ramuh with him as well. It works really, really well. So let's do it again. Boom. Frozen again. That's a strong, it's just a strong move. It's just super strong. That's why I feel like it's the better, you know, hold ability move. That's super strong. Freeze them in the air combos to galore, can do whatever you want. Another thing with Shiva's circle ability with Cold Slap is like, it works really well with this. Oh, I missed it. Hold up. See, frozen in the air, can do a lot of crazy stuff with it. And that's where Mesmerize comes into play. Especially in the air, Mesmerize is super strong. From the range of Mesmerize is really good as well. That far is not as good, but that far, super good. As you see, bring him right to you so you can combo from it. So that's to showcase how strong Mesmerize can be in the air. Let's go. Oh, I missed it. It's over. But even if I missed it, but I'm gonna try to catch it. Damn, he's still staggered from that? That's crazy. I'm gonna still try to catch it right here. I missed that hit. It's just right underneath them. It's really, really strong ability, man. I like it a lot, especially when it comes to these smaller enemies. It's really good against bosses as well, in my opinion. Because multiple hits, sometimes when they're staggered, you can get them into moving in front of you. It's really, really good move, in my opinion. Then we have Rhyme, and then we have Diamond Dust. So Rhyme, like I said, I think this is one of her weakest abilities, but due to the fact like you can't really place it's very weird how sometimes it will place. Like if I go super far here, I can blow it up here. As they stuck. Oh, I think I have to turn off. I have to turn this off. I think this blows up. Maybe on the last one. But yeah, as I'm pressing R2 and square, it's just blowing up at the same time. See, there's a blow up. That's why I messed up on. But yeah, I like Rhyme, but I know a lot of people is not going to really like the ability like that. But overall, I think it's super strong because you can do things like this. Then I can mix in this, popping back in there. It's super versatile with stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like it's very specific in the usage, but I've used Shiva's ability so much I know how to use it. But I can see a lot of people not having it super strong, but I think it's good. But it's probably her weakest ability, in my opinion. And her strongest ability, the Diamond Dust. This is the stagger king, queen. This is the move you want to have with you in boss fights, mini boss fights, all over. It is the super strong, man. Let's try to get an extra stronger enemy in here. Get Gigas in here. So Gigas right here. Stagger bar is full. Let's see how much stagger Diamond Dust is going to do. You remember we did it with aerial attack. Let's see how we do it with the Diamond Dust. Boom. Boom. Already level 1 stagger down. And if we do it again, boom. Boom. And then you can just stagger. You know what I mean? Like this move, it doesn't do the greatest damage, but this is the stagger move, man. When you're close to enemies being staggered, it is just super good, man. Cast Rhyme in it when you get up. You see how much stagger that does with Mesmerize close up? This is why I say it's good for bosses. I know when I probably said that, people was like, that move was not good, but look at this. Look at that chunk. And that's not even mixing it with a combo. Look at that chunk of damage. Oh, stagger, it does. And then you have this. Not the greatest of stagger, but when you fully charge it, just hold everything, the properties of the move change a little bit. Let's get it down. You see what I'm saying? This is why I said Mesmerize is good. And then we have, boom. You get in this situation, you know you're about to stagger the enemy. And you get an extra hit. Boom. Just really good, strong ability. That's super strong, man. I was basically doing nothing really, and I got 47,000 from that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I rate Shiva's the best in the game. It's the best ability in the game, in my personal opinion. That's due to how versatile and the usage of her move sets and her abilities could be. Let's move it along, man, to the last and final ability. Probably going to be the most controversial one from a lot of people in this video, and that's Odin. Odin, this is where I rate Odin, man. I feel like Odin is A tier and is below Bahamut. And I know a lot of people is going to disagree because a lot of people in new game, Final Fantasy mode, they abusing Odin's ability with his Zanzikin. I get it. That move is super, super good. You can get into it very, very easy. But as far as Odin's and his abilities, it doesn't really gel well with the other Eikon abilities. Like if you're using Odin, you're most likely using Odin just for Odin. You know what I mean? If you're using his circle ability, you're not really gelling it with anything else. You know what I mean? You're not switching to Shiva. You're not switching to Phoenix. You're just going to press Odin's ability until you get to level 5 Zanzikin, cash that out, and then you will probably switch over to another ability. My tier list, as far as like how I rate it, is due to like the synergy as far as how well it gels with other abilities, but how good the individual abilities by itself is good as well. You know what I mean? That's how I'm rating my tier list. And individually, I think Odin's abilities is God tier. You know what I mean? I think it's one of the most damaging abilities. I have a lot of fun using Odin's abilities, to be honest with you. But you know, and the more I play the game and the more I'm trying to mix and match different builds and whatnot, I don't really see myself using a lot of things that Odin has outside of one specific move. And I'll showcase that right now. So let's get into it. Let's talk about Odin. So yeah, here's Odin and all his abilities. The Arm of Darkness. This is the move. This is the set that everybody pretty much is going to be using. You know what I mean? As you press circle and you attack, when you pretty much cast the sword, you can Zanzetskin, where it just cashes out a whole bunch of damage. And yeah, this is probably one of the most damaging, probably the most damaging ability in the game. I've seen a lot of people go through Final Fantasy mode with this Odin, that's decimating enemies with this move. Also, as you press circle, is also very versatile, where you can dodge and get perfect dodge, and it also builds up into Zanzikin as well. I said Zanzikin like it's Final Fantasy X. Then Setsukin, I mean. So yeah, and then you have Gungnir, which I feel like is probably the better ability than Clouds, Heaven's Cloud, and Dancing Steel. This move right here, you're gonna build up a lot of the Zatsukin gauge, and it's just a super clean ability. Heaven's Cloud, this one's a little bit more strict, a little bit more I'm not gonna say it's not useful. It's pretty good because you can just chain enemies attacks. You can just chain attacks as you press whatever button that you set it to. So if you set it to square, keep pressing square. You set it to triangle, you keep pressing triangle. And it's very flashy, but it's not as useful as you would think it is. It doesn't really cause that much meter to go up as well with the Setsukin, but it's a cool looking ability. My favorite Odin ability is Rift Slip. This move right here, I feel like is super fun, and it's his most versatile move. It's actually in my main build. You know what I mean? When I use Shiva's abilities and stuff like that, I can get more from it. When I use Diamond Dust, I quickly switch over to this move. Because as you can see before, when I use Diamond Dust, and you get the stagger off the first hit, the second hit causes a lot of stagger, and it's keep on going, right? The stagger meter keeps on going as far as the stagger meter. But if you mix it with Rift Slip, you stop that stagger and you can continue whatever damage that you're missing out on as you get that second hit in with Diamond Dust. So it's very versatile. It works with a lot of different abilities in the game, and I love it. I love this ability a lot. Then we have Dancing Steel. On paper, this move looks really, really good. Looks really, really strong. But when you fight stronger enemies, when you fight enemies with like more armor and all that stuff, multiple enemies, you see how weak this move can be. Where it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does. You're pretty much going to get a full meter of Zanzikin in here. I know I'm butchering that name, so let's bear with me. You're going to get a full meter of it, but if an enemy does hit you, you get hit out of it. On the startup as well is super slow. So, you know, the aggressive type of enemies, if they on startup, if they hit you, you will get hit out of it. But it's pretty much just a meter build. That's all Odin's abilities is meter build, so you can get this move and hold square and crack that thing out. And that's why I don't rate it as high as a Bahamut, a Garuda, Phoenix, and Shiva, in my personal opinion. So, but let's get into it. Let's showcase some of it. So yeah, this is Odin. Before we get to a larger enemy, go to a smaller enemy. So his circle ability, well, like I said, it summons the sword, and from there, you're pretty much building meter. And his attacks change up. You can once you hold it, that's when you do the Zan Setsuken. You know what I mean? But what you want to do, you want to get this thing to level 5. Also, you can dodge with this move. I think you can jump as well. Yeah, the jump move. The jump move I don't like. As you can see how slow it is. You can get hit out of this. But this, super good. You can also do like jump and downward thrust. It does do like a nice little spinning attack. Like that. Which is super good, in my opinion. But like I said, it's very, very good move. And I know a lot of people is going to rate it high. But it's like very selfish type abilities, in my opinion. But the move that's going to get you to that level 5 is a Gunir. You know what I mean? What's the good thing about this move? Like right when it's finished, you can jump out of it. So yeah, that's Gunir, man. It's gonna cost a lot of meter to go up. It's a super good move. And it's multi-hitting. You're not gonna get hit out of this move when it's just getting cast. You know what I mean? And then we have Heaven's Cloud. This move right here is good to set up Zansetsuken, to be honest with you. But it's a move that can get, when it comes to like the enemies that's like using like fireballs or ranged attacks, you can get hit out of this. And if you're out of range, I forgot what the range proximity is for this move. Yeah, you're not really doing nothing from it. See that on that second hit? You're not really doing nothing. And I'm mashing it here. I'm mashing circle. You have to get the first hit to go. That's when you cash out. But the good thing is that when you cash out, you cash out. That's the instant kill move right there. That's why people rate Odin so high and why people will pick Odin. Because yeah, it's an easy like skip move. You know what I mean? You're struggling against the enemy, get this into Zansetsuken, level 5, boom, major damage. But overall, you can also put away the sword if you want to. I think once you put away the sword too, it doesn't change. It doesn't change your meter. So your meter is always there. And I think you can switch, boom, back to the sword. But you see what I'm saying? It's not going to gel really well. Like, you're not really going to be doing, like... If you hold it, you use it. You know what I'm saying? You're not really gelling well with other Eikon abilities. But here is Rift Slip here. So this move, I think, is really, really good. As you see, time stop right there. Boom. Let's see if we can refresh this here. So with Rift Slip, I can do stuff like this. Extend combos. What's really good about it too, it works really well with any ability. Like you can cancel any ability with it. So if I do, boom, let's cancel out. You know what I mean? So that's where it comes in key, especially for the range attacks. Cancel. Boom. Super, super good move, man. Can I hold this? Let's hold this right here. Cancel. Super, super. It's one of my favorite abilities in the game. You know, to be honest with you. So yeah, Rift Slip, really, really strong move. And then you have Dancing Steel, which, in my opinion, is his ultimate attack, but it's one of his weakest moves, in my personal opinion. Get Rift Slip. But the thing is, like I said, with Odin, you notice how I'm on Phoenix as far as the circle ability. And with Dancing Steel, it doesn't build up the Zanzikin meter. So we're going to do it again. When you're not using Odin as the main ability, it doesn't really benefit him. So I will have to cancel this and switch it. Or does it? Let me see. Oh, I don't have circle in there. So let's cash out. I'm pretty sure it doesn't, but we'll see to give a fair assessment. So, all right, we at 1. Got Zanzikin. Let's put it up right here. Then do this. Oh, so it does. So I take that back. That makes it really, really good. That kind of makes me want to move it ahead of Bahamut now, because because the fact that you can pop this move and always get the Zanzikin meter to the Zanzikin meter to go up makes it much more stronger. Because like I said, I really see Odin's abilities like more for selfish stuff, but the fact that you can go outside of his abilities and do things like this makes it stronger. So we're gonna pop Rift Slip. My Zanzikin cancel is not as greatest as well, but that's pretty much Odin, man. So yeah, just knowing that fact, I would put Odin higher than Bahamut, just due to the damage output. The damage output is way too crazy for it not to be that way. But I don't think his abilities. Matter of fact, no, I'll leave it there. I'll leave it as lower than it, because as good as this move is, this move right here, Dancing Steel, that building up all that meter, enemies can hit you out of it. If you catch the startup right here, you can get hit out of it. This move as well, range is not really as good, but Gunner, you can just spam that, get it in there. You know what I mean? But really and truly, the reason why I put it even that high is because of this. That one a move. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's where I'm feeling when it comes to the tier list. I think Shiva is the best. Phoenix. You can interchange these two, to be honest with you, because I feel like Garuda is more versatile than Phoenix, but when it comes to the basics of basics and combos, and that's everything, you kind of want to put Phoenix there. So that's why I'm putting Phoenix there. Bahamut, A, Odin A, Ifrit is A, then Odin, and then Ramuh, and then Titan. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling when it comes to the tier list, man. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts and how y'all feel. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting the like button. If you're new, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video, man. Hopefully you guys enjoy the Final Fantasy 16 content. All the boss videos is up. I will have like a separate playlist created for it. And look forward to more Final Fantasy 16 videos, man. It's your boy Jay Bari, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side, man. I'm gone. Deuces. Deuces.